Gerald W. Brister, and I want to announce today that this will be my first audio casting. I came up with the idea and kind of meets a need. If I'm on the go or busy, I can do these relatively easy from home. But what it also does is it allows me to flesh out a topic in one of the videos a little more. The topic we just have been on is the root passes. I made 2 welds in the same day, and we've been using those videos. One was 250 well, one was 375 well. And so we want to talk a little more about welding rods. You can't run a root without welding rods. And so I'm going to be doing these audio casting, and you guys let me know what you think about it. You can listen to them without having to watch and drive. That was another thought I had. I want to thank you guys, and I really mean this. I want to thank you. I started this kind of on a belief that I was supposed to do it, and we used to be thrilled when we got a few hundred views. And we started, I think, in July, and this thing has been growing and growing, and that's thanks to your support and your kindness. Every now and then you get some idiot with a little man disease or some guy that thinks he knows everything. And let me say this right here. There is no one way to weld, okay? I'm not so insecure that I think my way is the only way. It's the way I know, though. So that's what I'm going to teach. If it's not compatible with you, we'll throw it away. That's what I do. So I want to thank you for that. And I want to let you know that this thing is growing. And just in the last 2 weeks alone, we had about 500,000 views. In the last 2 months, I didn't just add it exactly. I kind of went through there in my head. The last 2 months, we've had about 1.5 million views. So that's all thanks to you guys. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the root pass rods. And one I want to talk about is the HYP rods. That stands for high yield pipe. When I came along, started welding in the early 70s, 71, somewhere in there. It was a very popular rod. It was made for high pressure pipe that also could have high temperatures. And it was a fast freeze, not like low hydrogen, but for a downhill rod, the flux would freeze pretty quick, so it would stack. It digs deeper than the average downhill rod. The average downhill rod digs into the parent metal or the pass below it about 1/8 of an inch. This hippie rod digs a little more than that. And that's kind of good. If you get a slag inclusion with a hippie rod, it's like pilot error. It's on us. Because this thing was made to weld. It had asbestos in it when I was first started to weld with it, and I think will probably always be my all-time favorite rod. I know the 8010s weld pretty good. But that original hippie that had asbestos in it was great. I mean, it was crisp, sharp. It was like downhill welding with TIG. It didn't fingernail, didn't do anything except just weld, make pretty caps. But they found out the asbestos in 1973 would kill you, and so they had to remove it. And they had to come up with something pretty quick, like when he changed the Coca-Cola formula because of the price of sugar. And it's never been the same since. That's just the truth. The newer ones weld better than the first ones that kind of came out, and they kind of got their footing somewhere. Also, here's a little history for you. The World Trade Center was full of asbestos, and it was pretty convenient that somebody knocked it down, wasn't it, instead of having to spend billions to fix it. But that hippie rod was really great. And the problem with it, though, there's problems with every rod. It would undercut on the roots. So if you're on a job and you had hard pipe and you had hippie rods to run roots with, it has to be preheated pretty hot. I'm thinking it's higher than 300 degrees when it's done right. And that helps it to not undercut. So you don't want to fool around. When they get through preheated, you want to jump on it and run your roots to avoid that undercutting on the bottom. I'm Gerald W. Brister, and this is your first audio cast.